Okay, bum maxing. What is it? Why is it absolutely needed? Why is this a hidden cheat code when it comes to attracting women? And why does it basically magnify or amplify an aura that 99% of guys simply can't compete with? I'm going to explain everything in this video. Now, one thing that I want to tell you is that this element of your life needs to be like a staple and a focal point, because you have to understand this on like a deep fundamental level. The bum does whatever he wants. Okay, what does a bum do? The answer is whatever he wants. Now, another thing that I can tell you is the bum not only does whatever he wants, but he does what's in his own best interest, and he only cares about himself, and he only worries about himself. You're going to notice this with a lot of men, okay, who don't get any action, who do not get laid. They're constantly focused on everybody else. They're focused on just mainstream bullshit that does not serve them. They're focused on things like politics or what the latest social media influencers doing, or they're focused on all of this stuff that simply doesn't matter. But the one thing that you have to understand is, in order to bum max, you need to actually understand that it is your job and your fundamental responsibility to say what you want and do what you want and live accordingly. So I'm going to just give you some of the staples that it takes to actually get to that point, so that way you can up-level your own aura. Now, I'm going to tell you a story here. I was on a date about 1.5 years ago, and I'm at this nice restaurant, and I drive up, I valet my car, we get out, we're having dinner, it's outside, I'm on this really nice, I'm at this really nice restaurant, I'm on this really nice date, and all of a sudden, outside on the balcony where everybody's eating, you know, everybody's dressed up, everybody looks really nice, and all of a sudden there's this homeless dude, and he comes up and he starts like getting reactive, and he starts yelling at people, basically like demanding money, like. And this dude, you know, he was a thin dude, long beard, you know, clearly doesn't have a place to live or a place to go. Like, he was clearly homeless. I think he had a cowboy hat on, but his attitude was like the most self-centered, demanding I have ever seen. Like, and this guy didn't come to my table, but he came to all these other people's tables, and he starts looking at the men and women sitting at all these tables, and he starts demanding money, or he starts demanding food. And then, like, if they don't say anything or they're silent, he starts you know, getting just saying a bunch of shit where he acts pissed, and he acted super entitled. And not one dude sitting there told him to get. And they all sat there and they all were scared, because they didn't know what he would do. And I could tell just by sitting there watching that all of the women there watched this homeless dude control this frame, and I could tell just by looking at the women that they were slightly aroused. I could tell that all the women had all the attention on this one guy, and they couldn't believe that that guy was that self-serving and that demanding. So the bum does whatever the bum wants. What I can tell you is this: I'm not telling you to go lose your job. I am not telling you to go slack in life and don't worry about your nutrition. What I am telling you is you need to adapt the same mindset as the bum, because the bum puts himself first and the bum does what he wants. If that son of a bitch doesn't feel like clocking into work that day, he doesn't. I'm not saying you have to go to that length, but what I'm saying is that when you live and operate your life every day for yourself and start doing what you want to do, that right there is alpha. And this is the attitude and the temperament that cannot be made up for. If I even show you why this works, here's my own personal text message. She goes, "I like that you think I look innocent. What are you doing this weekend?" I go, "Whatever I want, like every weekend." She goes, yes, I remember. What does what you want entail?" Right below that, I send a voice message that says, "So are you always so curious with all the questions?" Even with that example, you're going to notice that I don't even answer anything head on. Like, one of the secrets of actually maintaining the right frame and the right polarity with women is you have to understand that it is not your job to even answer things head on. As soon as you answer things head on, you're essentially psychologically submitting to her frame, and if she's the one asking questions and you're the one replying to them, you are confirming that she is of higher value than you in her mind. The second you actually start answering questions as if this is like a real topic for you to have a real discussion, you're literally losing her. Now, I don't really care how that sounds either, because these are just some of the lessons that you have to understand. What you have to know is women get turned on when you do whatever you want, you say whatever you want, and you have no fear of loss and you have no fear of repercussion. What that subconsciously communicates is you could walk out and leave my ass and I don't give a shit. You can walk out the door and I don't care. What you need to subconsciously communicate at all times is that you have no fear of loss, and whatever you want to say and whatever you want to do is correct by default. That means in this situation, if I want to do a direct approach, I'll walk up to her and say hello, and it was correct by default for me because I said so. And if I want to do an indirect approach the next day, I'll do that, and I'll also say that was correct for me by default. The truth is, when you actually are operating from your own point of reference, as if the things that you're saying and the things that you're doing are correct for you because you want to, that's when you actually become alpha. What is an alpha? An alpha is a guy who acts accordingly to how he wants. So that means that that guy could have 20 different guys say, do an indirect approach and this is far better. And if he feels like walking up directly and talking to her, he will. Okay, that's real aura. Like, that's something that can't be like, it like almost demonstrates that you're not fearful of confrontation, and you're also not fearful to step outside of the box and do what you would like to do instead of what everybody else wants you to do. Next thing that you're going to notice, the next thing that I do, and the next thing that the bum does, is the bum lives hour for hour. I'm not focused on tomorrow. I'm not focused on next week. I'm literally focused on right here, right now, and making this one video. Men who end up in a beta frame are men who plan everything. You're even going to notice this with women. The most feminine women you ever meet are always going to be women that plan stuff. March 18th, I have my girls' brunch. July 21st, I'm flying here to meet this girlfriend. This day, I have this friend's wedding. Women plan everything. Women plan things. If you're a man and you're planning a bunch of stuff, especially you're planning out your social life, you're going to notice that you're in a frame where you're fighting for control. It's like you try to control and micromanage every little detail. A masculine man lives in the moment. A masculine man lives in the moment, and he's not worried about all these other things going on. He realizes that this time that he has right now is literally all that matters. So that's the next thing. The bum lives hour for hour. Next thing, okay? I pay zero attention to politics, literally none. I don't give a shit, because here's the one thing that you can control. You can only control your individual action, and you can only control your individual outcomes through your own life and how you improve. Most people, you can put whoever you want in office, they're still going to be broke. And most people who have a rich mindset or a strong mindset, or men that actually know what they're doing in life, you could also put whoever in office, and they're probably never going to be poor. Now, is there certain things that can impact economy and stuff? Sure. But for the most part, your success in life, whether it be your dating options, whether it be your finances, whatever the case may be, is going to come from individual success and putting your time where you want to. The next thing that I can tell you is this: I do not worry about anybody but myself. So here's what I mean by that. I understand where I have to put my time and my dedication and my own focus to get ahead in my own life. And what that means is I don't care what other obligations people have over me. 5 other friends could say, hey, you got to be here for this bachelor brunch at this time, or whatever the case may be, or like you're going to notice people do these things to you. You're going to have outside influence from your family, your friends, trying to get you to attend things and trying to get you to do things. If someone calls you, you feel like you have to answer right there. The bum doesn't answer. The bum picks up when he wants. You're going to have people try to get you to go and do things that you don't want to do. The alpha says, no, I'm doing this instead because I want to. You have to internalize this concept. Let me give you a perfect example. I have 2 friends in town right now. They would happily see me. However, I have to finish making this video for the day, and I have to go work out. So for sure I'm doing that before I meet them. Like, you have to always put yourself first. If you start internalizing this concept, your dating life starts to change for the better, because you're finally putting yourself first in the areas that you need to. If you like this video, I advise you to take this one step further and join the community that I built to help you learn, understand, and master the language of women. I'm going to read one of the success stories that I had just the other day. This guy in my community goes, the language of women. Have not yet finished the language of women model. At around 35% so far and progressing. I have already started noticing a significant significant change in myself. It's not really about the tactics to charm women on command. That's unsustainable. The genius of this model, the language of women, is to just become the right masculine archetype that is attractive enough that you become irresistible to most women, as they are all wired with the female nature. He goes, effortless magnetism. By the end of this training, I can see myself change into a different human being so much that even if I make mistakes of my own and due to them I fail to keep a woman, sorry guys, I'm also not the best at reading. If I make mistakes of my own and due to them I fail to keep a woman, I won't mind at all, because I know all the work that went into reshaping myself with the help of this model, and I'd be enough on my own. I'm extremely grateful to have discovered this model. So this is why we have had so many guys join this community. This is why I know I can help you get dating successes, because I've spent the past 10 or 11 years mastering this one thing. And the more you carry yourself with the arrogant, assertive attitude that says, you know what, I don't give a shit what you think. I don't care how you view me. I don't care what the right status thing to do is. I'm doing what I want to do, and this is how I want to live, and these are the rules and expectations that I set for myself. That right there is how you can finally dedicate enough time to put towards your SMV. Because listen to me closely, if you do what everybody else does, attend all these events, constantly reply to all these friends that you think you have, even though they're just trying to extract something from you, constantly follow up with these people, constantly trying to be doing all this stuff, constantly doing what maybe your mom wants you to do, your dad wants you to do, your brothers and sisters want you to do, constantly trying to appease everybody, that is the opposite of bum maxing. The bum lives for himself, and that's why no matter what, he at the end of the day is alpha in ways that the dude with all the money and the status in the world will never be, because that guy is essentially a slave to all the things that he was told he should be over the years. And because of that right there is how you start to up-level your masculine attitude and persona, to start thinking for yourself, to say, hey, I have a limited amount of time on this earth, this is where I want to put my time, and this is how it's going. End of discussion.